A wounded woman, looking panicked, seemed to be fleeing from some danger. Suddenly, a man burst out of the water calling for help, but she couldn't do anything. In an instant, the seawater turned deep red like it had been soaked in cola. This curvy woman was a surfer. She skillfully prepared herself and started riding the waves, but something about the ocean felt off. She noticed a group of dolphins swimming nearby. She followed them for a while, only to spot a flock of seagulls ahead, pecking at a huge whale carcass. The sight made her uneasy, so she decided to leave. Sure enough, her presence disturbed a shark that had been feeding. A wave hit, and her surfboard was knocked over by the shark, throwing her hard into the sea. She quickly surfaced, but before she could catch her breath, the shark dragged her down again. Blood instantly spread through the water. She struggled desperately in immense pain. Eventually, the shark let go, and she broke free. Spotting the whale carcass not far away, she swam toward it. Behind her, the shark was following the trail of her blood, almost catching up. She looked down and saw a deep wound on her thigh. She needed to stop the bleeding immediately. Just then, she noticed someone on shore packing up to leave. She screamed for help, hoping they'd hear her, but the person just kept packing and eventually walked away. Now she was left alone in the sea, clinging to a massive corpse. The shark was still nearby, and the shore and a buoy were still far away. Suddenly, the shark charged at her. She didn't hesitate. She jumped into the water, desperately swimming toward a reef. On the way, she cut her foot on coral. There was also an injured seabird on the reef. The shark circled around her. The pain made her faint, but the salt water stung her wound and woke her up. She knew she had to treat her injury. As a former doctor, she took off her earrings and necklace. She used the necklace to pierce her skin, then sewed the wound shut with the earrings. She did it without hesitation. Her willpower was strong. She took off her top and wrapped it around her thigh to stop the bleeding, but after nightfall, the temperature dropped. Shivering from the cold, she had to put her shirt back on. She couldn't let the wound get worse, so she tore off one sleeve, wore the shirt properly, and removed the makeshift tourniquet to let blood flow again. Otherwise, her leg might go numb or die. 2 minutes later, she stopped the bleeding again, wrapping the wound with the sleeve. A small crab was gnawing at her wound. She slapped it hard, turning it to mush. It was about time to eat, but the crab was too disgusting to swallow. She looked around. The shark seemed to have gone. She thought this was her chance to retrieve her surfboard and use it to get back to shore. She gently slipped into the water, but her wound was still bleeding. Hope seemed just ahead, but the shark had been expecting this move. She had no choice but to turn back and swim to the reef. The pain made her scream out loud. Just then, she spotted a person on the shore. She shouted with all her strength. The man finally woke up. He had passed out drunk. Thankfully, he noticed her. She hoped he would find her phone in the backpack and call for help, and the man really did walk over to check.